Hey, good morning, everybody. Taking a look at radar once again. We have severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings as of now, but I do kind of see what looks to be a decent wind event developing. Now, we just had 54 miles per hour as this line came through Beaumont, 61 in Lake Charles, and I'm thinking we're going to get that out here in Leesville here very shortly, if not right now. So please let me know what you're seeing out there. If you lose power or anything like that, if you're safely able to tell me, that would be lovely just to know what's going on. I've got the power outage map up, and Vernon Parish, as of last check, was at 493. So just when they got everyone back on, it looks like we're going to knock some of y'all back off the power grid. Still 900 plus without power in Rapides Parish and 567 in Grant Parish. I believe those are new out in Vernon, the 493. I think they had everyone back on. So let's take a look at base velocity. Now, this is going to show us the wind velocities near the ground because we're like 700-ish feet above ground level. Radar site right there, so we're not far away, only about 10 miles, and that's going to mean that we're real low into this storm. So let me go ahead and take a look and see what kind of wind velocities are showing up on radar, and I'll show you where the worst of that is, because we saw earlier today what strong straight line winds can do, though I do think we probably maybe had one tornado in that. I'm not sure yet. They're going to pull that report out tomorrow. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we have. Billy Goat Hill out in that area. I've seen some pixels up above 60 miles per hour. In fact, pushing 70 miles per hour. So let's go in and try this here. Get a little bit closer. Yeah, 66, 64, 59. So these winds likely making it to the ground here from the base out to Billy Goat Hill and then moving out toward LeCamp, Leesville, Simpson, Slagle. You're going to be getting in on this. Cravens as well here in the next little while. I'll clear those off and take you back to what we have on radar. Lots of lightning. Typical thunderstorm stuff here. I don't know if they're going to reissue that part of the warning, but right now, significant wind just moved through Lake Charles. I see they have 1,800 without power in Calcasieu Parish. I think that'll come up as we get into the next little while here. We should have an update on this in about 5 minutes or so. So let me go over to Facebook, see what the comments are like, see if anybody's saying anything. Everybody's still sleepy. These have not rolled into Alexandria. My Leesville folks are going to jump on, I'm sure, here any minute, and we can start chatting it up here. But that's what we've been noisy and windy in DeRidder. Yeah, you are through the worst of it now. DeRidder being right there, you're kind of on that backside. Doesn't mean you can't still see some gusty wind out of this, but I think the worst of this is, if not over now, it's going to be over shortly. You will hear thunder for a while. We have those lightning bolts going on back into that more stratiform rain behind this. You get the convective or thunderstorm type rain out on the leading edge, and then we get that just kind of old school wintertime gentle thunderstorm afterwards. So once that gets through, once that front edge of this thing gets through, then we get back into that light to moderate rain. No, you know what? There's not a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch right now. Kind of crazy. I could see where they'd go with a severe thunderstorm watch since the whole line is warned, but no, we do not. I have the warnings and watches all active, and we're not seeing anything right now. Leesville's raining sideways. Wind is insane. Yeah, that sounds like we're about to lose some power across parts of the area. Lightning count, just for my own, so 738. I like to put a baseline on that. It's a real easy way to see if the line is strengthening or weakening on the whole. So 735 right now, and that's a number I'm going to remember for later in the coverage this morning. I'm going to say evening. It's not, we're way past evening. So let's put things in motion. Over the last hour, you can see that northern end kind of circulation. When we get these mature squall lines, sometimes we'll get what we call bookend vortices. So that would be one on the north, one on the south. Given what we have now with weaker wind shear and the setup we have in place here, we're going to mainly see that cyclonic vortex on the northern end, and we're not so much going to see it on the southern end. And we're seeing that right now. And actually what's happening here is we're getting some thunderstorms that are popping out ahead of that because there's a little additional lift out ahead of that, that vortex up here. That's what we saw on radar with the green and red coming together. It's not a tornado vortex, but there is a low-level circulation there that's broader than a tornado. So it's not going to produce tornadic damage, but some strong straight line wind, quite possible. Lost power in Leesville. Yep. Allen Parish, you're next here. This is, if you're in southwestern Allen Parish, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. If not, I think you're going to see gusty winds and heavy rainfall here probably within the next 30 to 45 minutes. And that being said, I think this moves through Alexandria, most likely in about 40, well, no, probably about an hour. Yeah, it's about 45-ish miles. So yeah, we're about an hour away from this moving into town and waking everybody up. So let me see what I have going on chat here, just making sure I'm not missing anything, but I'll stick with you for a while. I'm just kind of sitting here, just waiting for stuff. Yeah, currently gusting to 53 at Lake Charles. That was 8 minutes ago. And then it's about the Cameron Parish one because they have a tornado possible tag on that one, but that's out of our area. So power going out in parts of Leesville per that report right there. I'm sure everyone is waking up right now. I'm going to see if I do have a new update on those numbers. And not just yet. We're still at the 303 update. So, whoa, I think the air kicked on here and shut the door. It sounded kind of scary because no one should be awake right now. So this is really, again, very close to the radar. Look at that circulation. This is that cyclonic vortex on the northern end of this. I know I'm using big words and everything, but basically this means we're going to see our strongest wind, I think, right in this area through Vernon Parish. This eventually moves through Alexandria. Unfortunately, some of us that lost power earlier today probably about to lose it again. Some other trees about to come down as well. And we already saw 61 miles per hour measured down in Lake Charles. We only measured 54 this morning in Alexandria and had all that damage around here and up into Pineville. And they're still doing that survey, or actually he's done the survey, but he's still going through the data to see exactly what we had with that from basically Boyce all the way over through Labousse. So, that's what we had this morning, and I think we're about to do not an exact repeat. It doesn't mean what happened at your house is going to happen again, but I could see a pretty decent amount of power outages with a system like this rolling through. All right, super bad in New Lano, no power, lots of light and noise. Oh yeah, this is heading to Lafayette. You're going to get in on this a couple hours from now. You can see even a couple of front runners out there ahead of that, a couple of those cells forming way out there to the east. So just getting into Slagle and Vernon. Good to go to bed on Fort Polk. I'd wait. This is when the worst. I mean, you're right in the thick of it now. So there's the radar site. That's basically right there on base, all this stuff out here. So you're getting into it now, and that's when I think the wind's really going to pick up here in the next little bit, because as you can see here, this is now approaching the radar site. So let's just go in here and show you, first off, what that pixel is. How strong of wind do we have? 69 miles per hour toward the radar site. So that's not a definitive, that's definitely happening, but it's 500 feet above ground. So yeah, it's certainly going to be very gusty. I'd say the tornado threat's low because this is pretty straight line looking. I don't see any sort of actual circulation, but a spin up is entirely possible. I would not be stunned to see that. So let me show you where the worst of this is. Artillery Road right now, F Avenue, K Avenue. If you're in any of these letters or numbers here on North Fort Polk, it says, so if you're on those, that's where we have things going on. Up toward, over toward Dugout Road, again, Artillery Road, right into base there. That's where it looks like the strongest wind is going to be coming through. If these are familiar to you, then it's windy right now, and it's going to get windier probably over the next few minutes. Whiskey Chitta Road, Holly Springs Road. Hey, I grew up on Holly Springs Road. Not that one, different one. Holly Springs Trail, actually. Bivouac Road, Dugout Road, Range Road. All of these places, that's where this severe thunderstorm is producing some very strong wind right now with possible likely power outages in spots. Here's the thing, Leesville, once this clears, it's going to thunder, it's going to rain. Pull up the lightning here. You can see there's lightning behind this, but get through about the next 15 minutes and you're good to go. I'm going to put that in motion. And, you can see how it looked like a bow echo was trying to form, went a little more linear here. We'll watch and see the evolution on that, but we are definitely seeing some decent wind with this thing as it rolls through Vernon Parish and then down to the southern flank here toward Lake Charles, Calcasieu Parish, southern Beauregard, and southern Allen. Let me turn the sound down. But you can also see where the lightning is most concentrated in those areas as well. So that northern flank and then that southern storm here down along I-10, nasty drive from Lake Charles to Lafayette or vice versa. And like I said, we have these other cells that are forming. You're probably hearing some thunder in Lafayette. It's not from this stuff in Lake Charles. It's from here to these storms to the east. Evangeline Parish, you're going to get hit in about an hour and probably, it depends, an hour or so on the western side of the parish, hour and a half or so on the eastern side. And this thing probably clears the area By 6:30, something like that. This will be moving east of St. Landry Parish and across the river. And you can see still that northern end up into Natchitoches, you're just getting rain. It's nothing severe up that way. Southern Sabine Parish, lots of thunder, but nothing severe there at this point. And it looks like we'll see some pretty heavy rain and gusty winds as this continues to surge quickly onto the east. Let me get a reading on how fast they're saying this thing is rolling through right now. All right, so no, we're not going to read the Cameron Parish warning. We're going to go with the Central Vernon Parish one. They're saying moving east at 40 on that one, and the one down in Southern Beauregard Parish, this warning down here, they have that one moving at 50 to the northeast. So 40 to 50 miles per hour, just to draw a line here and show you how far that is from Alexandria. That's when it's going to wake everyone up. So we're less than an hour away, or around an hour away. 40 to 50 mile per hour forward speed is going to put this into town in about an hour. We're going to hear it before that, though. That's when the wind is going to arrive and when we possibly could see some power outages. Let me take a look currently at our power outage numbers, see if we got that updated. Yes, we are now up to 1650 in Vernon Parish. So again, we do this again. We had 10,000 without power this morning after the storms. The linemen went out there, did their hard work, got everything put back together, and here we are again. 1259 without power in Beauregard Parish, and Rapides at 971 and Grant at 567. And I would assume if they're out ahead of this right now, they're kind of pausing things and just saying, okay, let's wait. We'll fix all this stuff when it comes through. I'm not exactly sure how that all works, but I would say that would be a smart move right now. And they certainly aren't going to be out there putting this stuff back together right now as the lightning is flickering all over Vernon Parish and eastern Beauregard Parish as well. But it's a quick hit. Might lose power, strong damaging wind are possible along that front edge of this, but then it's probably about, again, like this morning, like 20 or 30 minutes of crazy, and then behind it, it just turns to a little light to moderate rain with some rumbles of thunder. So let's go ahead and take a look at velocity. I'll clean this up a bit. It's right about over the radar site, real strong convergence signature right there. That right there is where the strongest wind would be. 54, 58. Again, we're looking a few hundred feet up into the storm, so it's pretty easily making it to the ground, and it looks like a pretty widespread swath of about 50 to 65 mile per hour wind out of this. And we saw that on the southern end of this, not really so much where the worst of the damage was up from Boyce through Pineville and like out toward, was that Pinehurst Road. That, again, that could have either been straight line winds, probably on the 90 to 100 mile per hour order, or a EF1 tornado. I'm not sure what they're going to call that just yet. But we are seeing widespread 50 to 65 mile per hour wind out of this one at the very least. And that's more what we saw across Alexandria today. That's what we had when that storm rolled through here. And that knocked out power for a decent while. Let's go over to comments. North Fort's getting scary. Yeah, South is as well. I am not stunned. I appreciate y'all kind of letting me know what's going on with this stuff. But yeah, right there on base right now, it is loud. Tons of lightning out there, and this is all going to be moving right overhead. You can see above my head, lightning flashing right on cue there, above me on the Alexandria camera. And if you want to go look at those cameras, they are all live on the website, on the app, and you can watch the lightning from the safety of inside. Better place to watch it than just like sitting on the roof or something. All right, let's take this off. See what the wind shear looks like. We go back to base velocity with it being that close. That's a better way to look at it. And here's and it's going to look like it's weakening, but it's not. As it gets closer into the radar, it gets lower to the ground. We get a more true reading as to what's happening. I mean, it was showing like 80, 90 miles per hour as it crossed the border. Doesn't mean that it's getting weaker now. It just means we're actually seeing what's happening at the ground. And right now that looks like a widespread swath of 50 to 65 mile per hour winds. Now, if you're west of 171 in Vernon Parish, you should be improving. You can see there's 171, that yellow line right there. Up toward Anacoco, still rocking and rolling. Leesville, you're still rocking and rolling as well. It's going to last for probably another 5-10 minutes where it's real heavy, and then you get into that lighter stuff on the backside. But the good news, no tornado warnings right now. Watching very carefully, especially on that northern end of things, but I am getting a little more optimistic that we might not see that, so some great news there. Harmony Hills, yeah, down the line you might. So that's what I hate. I know that a lot of people they put the tarps on the roof, and you're just trying to protect what wasn't damaged, perhaps by, like, I know some places had trees fall into the house, a lot of damage to structures and trees and everything like that. And yeah, we could do it again, and we're already seeing power outages repeating in some spots that saw it earlier today. So just because you did see damage today doesn't mean you're going to see it again, but it also doesn't mean you're immune to it. So you could see this, and you can see how this warning right here is going to track if this storm holds true, and it looks like it is. That's going to come right across from the northern half of Rapides Parish. So Boyce, Alexandria, Ball, Tioga, Pineville, Labousse, DeVille down the line. You're all in line for this once again. It's tough to say exactly what's going to happen in every individual place. I do think the worst of this is going to be right along that northern flank, and then wherever we start to see any sort of little bow ahead in this squall line that's moving across the area right now, which is now moving right into Oakdale. I do think Evangeline Parish is going to get hit pretty decently here. We're going to see, even in the areas where there's no warnings here, 40, 45, 50 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be likely. So you'll want to, or it'll probably wake you up as it rolls on through, but then it's really a quick hit. By the time you start hearing the thunder and it wakes you up, you're probably pretty much into it, and then it's going to last about 15 minutes, and again, unfortunately, it's going to knock the lights out for some. And we're going to, again, this is not the last round of severe weather in the next few days. We're going to see more of the same, I think. Tomorrow afternoon, which today is Tuesday, so Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon, we could do this yet again. So just because we're seeing one round doesn't mean we're not going to see 2, 3, and 4. And we already have now, as of the last count in the state, and this counts 3,200 in Calcasieu Parish, we're up to 8,600 power outages. We were up around 30,000 earlier. They got pretty much everyone restored except for about 1,500. And now we're back up to 8,600, and I'm sure that number is going to go up as this continues on to the east. Let's take a look at velocity one more time. It's right over the radar, just about there right now. If you are, that surge of wind is going to be out here, Dugout, Artillery Road, Fence Line, Fullerton Road, anywhere. If you live right near the radar site, if you're in LeCamp, if you're in Hicks, if you're along 28 out there, we're 28, and if you're east of Leesville, if you're out there along 28, Slagle, Hicks, LeCamp, Leander, you're about to see this really strong wind come through, and unfortunately, that means the lights are going to go out for some folks. Take a look at the storm relative, see if I see anything on the leading edge. I don't see anything too off the wall. So I'm going to wait and see what they do with this warning. Looks like that is, I would imagine they'll reissue that. Let's see. Yeah, they're going to reissue it, I believe. They're considering upgrading the winds on that warning. So we'll see what we get on that new warning as it comes out. But I do expect that one expired at 3:30. I expect that they will reissue this severe thunderstorm warning on the north end. And remember, these cells out ahead, it's going to merge with that. Those cells, let's put it in motion. They're moving more northeast, and then that line's kind of surging to the east. It's going to absorb these, and we'll see some brief uptick in the wind when that does happen. So if you're in anywhere on base out towards Simpson, LeCamp, Leander, Slagle, if you're in western Rapides Parish around Athman, Hineston, it's not there yet, but it's getting close. And I can't rule out, again, an isolated quick spin-up tornado out of this. Looks like they're continuing that warning. Just waiting to see. I'm going to go to the other, going to my data feed here. They're continuing that warning, and I'm sure we're going to get another one out of this one, so we'll stick with it until we do. It's mainly the worst of this is east of 171 now. So Leesville to Anacoco, you're about to really quiet down in the next little while, and you can see this thing started coming through there. The heaviest of this, about 320, it's 333, and you're really going to be improving quickly. And when I say improving, I mean you're going to be improving with the conditions outside. I'm not saying that the power is going to come on right away or anything like that. It does look like we're at now 1,650 without power in Vernon Parish, and that's as of 3:15, so that is about 18 minutes old. And I think that's going to come up a decent bit here with the next check. All right, so severe thunderstorm warnings continue down in southern parts of the area. We will see a reissuance, I believe, on this one here through Vernon Parish, and that could light up the phones here in Rapides Parish as well. We shall see. North of this, let me go into the Shreveport radar. I'll just show you a closer angle on those storms. And sometimes when you get if you go and look at this radar where it's a little bit closer, you're going to see some heavier cells and whatever. But this one's not. This is just showing some stratiform light to moderate rain. Probably a few lightning strikes out of it. Yeah, just a few up there. But it's thundering a bit up around I-20 Shreveport and then down 49 toward Mansfield and Natchitoches. More of a general rain. The severe threat, the severe storms are down here from Vernon Parish down to the south into Beauregard, and eventually I think Allen, Evangeline, Rapides, we're going to get in on it. And down the line, Avoyelles, Evangeline, I already said that, and St. Landry. So let's go back to our other radar sites. Let me check Lake Charles, turn off the lightning. There's our new warning. All right, let's go in. I will read you the update on this one. I'm going to turn that off for a second. This goes until 4:30 a.m. This includes a chunk of Rapides Parish as well as Vernon. How is my text not updated yet? All right, I have the polygon, but not the text. Hold on one second. I'll find this thing. That's the last thing I do. 3:34, there we go. Severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Rapides Parish and northeastern Vernon Parish. At 3:33 a.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Slagle and moving northeast at 25. So they've slowed the speed down a bit. I still think it's moving a little faster than that. The hazard with this, they upgraded the wind threat to 70 miles per hour. It's going to knock out the power for a lot of you. And penny-sized hail. Locations impacted: Alexandria, Pineville, Leesville, Boyce, Anacoco, Alexandria International Airport, Slagle, Lena, Fort Johnson, Ball, New Llano, Colfax, Hornbeck, Tioga, Timber Trails, Hutton, Flatwoods, Otis, Kurthwood, and Seeper. You are in this warning. And you can see this comes right up, and just for technical purposes, so like Paradise there, up into Ball, Timber Trails, Barrett, and basically northwest of Alexandria, but it's close enough. We're going to go ahead and say that maybe they were doing us a favor by not waking us up yet. I don't know, but that is certainly going to be a storm that's going to head right over us here in Alexandria. And base velocity now has this thing right over the radar. Hopefully we don't lose power to the radar site. I don't know what the backup is like there. It looks like, at least right now, that's showing up a little bit weaker, but I think I don't quite agree with the detective work on radar on that one. I think that surge of wind is remaining nicely intact and is going to continue to do so as it heads on toward Rapides Parish and eastern Vernon Parish. Let's put that in motion and show you that little punch in the backside of this thing right there. You can see a little small scale bow right here on that northern end of the line, and that's going to be sweeping up across Rapides Parish, and I fear knocking the power out once again for many areas that have just been restored. 14,000 is the latest count. 14,229 without power. We were at 1650 in Vernon up to 1985. 1,400 without power in Beauregard Parish, 8,300 in Calcasieu, so they got hit pretty hard, staying at 970 and 567 respectively in Rapides and Grant. Those numbers are about to come up. So no tornado warnings right now. Very busy stuff going on, though, with strong gusty wind across the area. Severe stuff is not going to linger all morning. It's going to come through very quickly, probably about 30 minutes of madness, then some lighter rain behind it. So I'm going to go reset things, take a look at a few models and things like that, and I will be back live here in a little bit. Just wanted to hop on and let you know that, yes, I'm watching all this. These severe thunderstorms are going to continue to surge onto the east quickly, and I think we're going to see some pretty strong winds here across Rapides Parish, eastern Vernon, parts of Allen, and then south toward I-10 over the next little while here. But over the next couple of hours, this whole line sweeps out and we see improving conditions. Then we do it again on Wednesday. All right, I'll see you back here in a bit.
No matter the weather, Alexandria Emergency Hospital is always here for you. Rain or shine, our doors are open 24/7 to provide the care you and your loved ones need fast. Every second counts, and Alexandria Emergency Hospital is here to help you through any storm.